everybody, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video tutorial for Studio Monday. I have a bunch of cards to share with you today, all of them featuring ways on that you can use sequins. I know we all have tons and tons of sequins in our stash, and I wanted to share a bunch of ideas for how you can use them in some very clever ways. So I want to start off with this particular card here. This particular card features a pattern technique. You can see that I created this beautiful floral design on this card, and it has a beautiful sparkly finish to it. Now I'm going to show you a few of the products that I used on this card. The XO pattern that you see in the background there, that was from our new Really Like You stamp set. And then I also used a Hero Arts Thank You Messages stamp set to create the sentiment on the card. And of course on the inside I also did stamp another sentiment from that same stamp set and also a heart using that Really Like You set. Now the star of the show for this particular card is the Sparkle Dot Patterns stamp set from Pretty Pink Posh. This stamp set allows you to stamp designs onto your card, and then you can fill those patterns in with sequins, rhinestones, or any other types of embellishments that you want to use to fill in the pattern. So I'm going to show you here. I stamped out this floral design that I created with this little eyelet pattern. And I stamped that with both yellow and green inks. And again, you can see there's a bunch of different shapes in this set, and I'm going to use the eyelet or the flower petal style of shape. I started off by taking some collage medium. This is my favorite liquid glue for applying pretty much anything down now. And I'm using that to add dots of adhesive in the dots of each of these petals. And then I'm going to start taking some rainbow jewels from Lucy's cards, and I'm going to create a rainbow on each petal. And that creates a beautiful floral design by the time we're all finished here. I'm alternating the different colors as I go up the petal and making sure to get a good color palette of red, orange, yellow, a little bit of a bluish tint, a darker blue, and also purple. And that creates a really beautiful design on this card. I skipped green for the petals because I am going to be using green for the leaves. Once I finished up the pattern, you can see here we get a gorgeous arrangement here. So many colors just jam-packed into this floral pattern. And you could use either, like I said, sequins or rhinestones or whatever type of embellishment you'd like to cover over those little dots. Those dots are there to help you create the pattern. And then you have this beautiful design left over with those embellishments that you used to create the card. So that was idea number one. Now let's move on to another idea. This card design is so much fun. It is a sequin shaker card, but it also features some embellishing. So let me first show you the products that I used on the card. I used our CORBEL heart die, and I paired that with our CORBEL cut border die. We have a great collection of CORBEL style dies that allow you to create some beautiful designs because you can mix and match them together to create some really beautiful custom designs on your cards. So I cut that border edge along the bottom of the card, and you can see that balances out the entire card and also ties in with the heart. Now the sentiments here, I used the love portion from this Hey Love die set, and I cut that from some Burnished Rose Tonic Studios mirror cardstock and then layered a few pieces of just white cardstock die cuts underneath it. Then the supporting sentiment I cut from our new Stained Glass Love stamp set, and I used that You Forever and Always to finish up the sentiment. So that's the love version of this card. I also created a more Christmassy style of card. This one uses our CORBEL Collage tree die. It's, again, a beautiful design, and it matches perfectly with that border, which is again what I used along the bottom portion of the card. Then to finish off this card, I filled it of course with sequins and added the embellishments in and around the tree. And then I took the stained glass greetings stamp set and stamped and heat embossed the word love, and then added a supporting sentiment underneath. Now the love portion does have coordinating dies, so I went ahead and cut out that love, and you can see it has this beautiful focal point, and also the style of that sentiment matches so nicely with the delicacy of this card. This card is very clean and simple, and that allows the delicate style of this card to really carry through. So let me show you how I created this set of cards. So I've got here my panels that I've cut with my dies. I've got 2 pieces of acetate for each card, and then also my card base. These are the main components that we're going to need to start off building our shaker. So I'm going to go ahead and take that panel. I'm going to add adhesive to the back side of it. I need to be able to attach down my acetate or clear window plastic or packaging or whatever type of clear element that you have that's a little bit sturdy, you can use that as a shaker window. So I've attached down that acetate and I'm going to go ahead and trim this down, and then I can start adding foam tape around this tree. I want to be able to create a shaker well here because I need something to house my sequins in. So I'm going to use some foam tape. This is 3M foam tape, and I'm going to add foam tape all the way around this tree, leaving just a small area around the tree free of any adhesive. Then I will go ahead and take another layer of foam tape and add that over top of the foam tape we've already applied down. This is creating a second layer, and so the sequins are going to have 2 layers of foam tape separating them from the front of the shaker and the back of the shaker. And that's going to give them a little bit of area to move around in. I'm using a gorgeous mix of Lucy's Cards sequins. These sequins have big snowflakes in them. Also, I didn't use many of the snowflakes. I used about 3 in this card. Because this window is so small, I don't want a lot of them in there. And then I went ahead and took my second piece of acetate and attached that down. This is sandwiching the sequins inside. But the best part is that we've now got 2 layers of acetate, one on the front and one on the back, and that is allowing the sequins to move very easily. But there are a lot in here, so there's not going to move as much as, say, a bigger shaker might have, but I wanted them to be able to move as freely as possible. So by using acetate, you've got 2 slick surfaces in between the sequins, and that's going to allow them to move really easily. So I attached that entire piece down onto my cardstock card base, and you can see that because we have the acetate behind our sequins as the backing, that's allowing us to see through to the back side of the card. And so we have that beautiful purple showing through with that tree. To embellish this card also, I took some sequins that are from that same sequin mix that I used inside of the shaker. And again, adding the embellishments like this really ties the whole card together. For this card, I used some rhinestones that matched really nicely with the happiness mix that I put inside of the shaker. And then of course, then we have the tree, which has the beautiful purples and blues and teals. And these 2 cards look amazing when they catch the light because the sequins and rhinestones all capture that light and really just sparkle and shine. Alright, moving on. These cards are so much fun. Now, I made a huge mess when I was working on actually all of these cards. I had sequins all over the place. I'm still finding sequins on the floor. I adore using sequins, so I didn't care, but I definitely am a klutz, so I end up having sequins all over the place, along with everything else that I use too. So this particular card design, I had these cat paws from the Positivity stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. And to me, they looked like they were throwing up confetti, like, woohoo! So I was like, well, okay, well, why don't I do something with that? So I took some sequins from our colorful confetti mix and I made them confetti. I turned this card into a confetti throwing card. So I took those colorful confetti sequins and I dumped them all out on my desk, partly probably why I had sequins all over the floor too. So I'm taking those sequins and I'm gluing them down randomly across this whole card. I am loading it up with sequins, making sure I put more sequins down towards the bottom than I do at the top, but I am covering this panel with sequins. It has sequins all over it. And what this is doing is this is creating the effect of these cats throwing the sequins up in the air like it's confetti, and they're celebrating because you did something really awesome, or in this case, possum. So I really liked this card. I thought this was a really fun way to be able to use your sequins to not only build a scene, but you're also using the sequins to make your background. So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. You're filling in the design, but you're also creating a really colorful and sparkly background that really catches the light so beautifully. All right, my favorite card, I'm pretty sure is my favorite. I mean, I loved all of these cards, but this one really does make me happy. This card features how to use sequins on your die cut. So you're covering your die cut letters in this particular case with sequins. So these die cut letters are from the CZ Designs All Caps #1 die set. And I die cut each of the letters. So I used the H, the A, 2 P's, and a Y to spell out the word happy. And I cut them from a different color of cardstock for each letter. Then I went ahead and attached them down onto my panel. Added some beautiful stamped images from the Best Ever stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I used the rainbow and the cloud and some of the sentiments. And then I created this cute little rainbow scene above my die cut letters. The final step was to go ahead and add some sequins. And I thought it would be so much fun to add the sequins on the letters. So I pulled out sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. These are all colors from their super gorgeous mirror sequin packs. I've got Fairy Tale Pink, Sunshine Glow, Peridot Mist, Ocean Spray, and even some Lavender Moon. And I added these 4mm sequins over top of every single letter here, and I've covered them to the T. Like, there is no space left hardly in between each of these sequins. And I think it looks so awesome after it's all done and you've gotten all of the sequins onto the letters. They just capture the light so beautifully. It almost reminds me of like their like neon letter signs or something. They're so cool and they capture the light so beautifully. I would love to see these letters kind of put onto maybe like a black background or something and have it make it look even more like those neon letter signs. It is so cool, but it also looks so awesome with this card design too. It's a very indeed happy card. And I really liked how these sequins make the die cut letters come to life. And of course, because we have all the beautiful shimmer and shine on the sequins themselves, I also added a bunch of shimmer to the rainbow and the clouds, and I even covered the pattern paper with some glitter. And I used the Spectrum Noir glitter pen for that. So I hope you enjoyed these ideas. I've got more information on each card, including the products that I used for each card over at the Simon Says Stamp blog. I also have a list of products used down in the video description below, but I think you'll find it more helpful if you head on over to the blog to get more information on each one of these cards. I hope you enjoyed today's Studio Monday video and got some inspiration. I will be back next week for a Christmas surprise for you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye!